Hello and welcome to another episode of Historically Marked. I am just in the west part of Albuquerque, New Mexico on Route 66, and mostly comprises of Central Avenue if you're going east or west, and if you're going north and south it's mostly Lomas Boulevard. But there are dozens literally of antique signs and neon signs that landscape this whole town, and I mean it's no exaggeration. You guys see this for yourself. But I mean, I encourage you to do it on your own terms. But so Albuquerque has done everything right when it comes to restoring some of their old buildings and all that, and especially their signs, whether or not they are useful. But for Route 66 enthusiasts like me, it was definitely quite a thrill driving through the busy sections. Now, Central Avenue takes you to Albuquerque West. They also takes you to other neighborhoods like downtown, and where it's kind of, you know, narrow. But there's also the Nob Hill district, and there's also the International district, and then it goes straight into, you know, Santa Rosa, which is about 100 some miles from here. But if you want to do the pre-1937 alignment, which is north and south, that's a different story. But one thing that Albuquerque I suggest kind of work on is getting some historical markers on these places, because you know, I definitely have a full episode if there is some, but I was able to find one. Yeah, but that's at an old building, which I'll show you in this video. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a montage of some photos I took and some video. Here we go. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about as far as different alignments, this was the original Route 66 road that went from north to south in Albuquerque, coming from Santa Fe. It would go into Los Lunas and then turn west. This is known as the Santa Fe Loop. This alignment existed from 1926 to 1937. And now, here is the post-1937 alignment, which ran from east to west. Most of it is on Central Avenue. Of course, it would set the stage in what would become Interstate 40 in later years. You can still travel both alignments today, as I did. Understandably, it's frustrating and confusing at times, because they are both different directions. The city has numerous sites, many of them listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This includes several businesses and old motels. Like here, this is the El Vado Motel, which opened in 1937, closed in 2008, and then it later reopened and is still going strong as a business. There is also the Madonna of the Trail statue, which I did an episode on. This once sat on Old Route 66. Alright, so now I'm in the historic Nob Hill district here in Albuquerque, and got a lot of, it's a trendy area, a lot of small businesses, and a lot of neon signs, and even a Route 66 sculpture. But like there's I thought that was a painting or a paint spot, but it's actually a cocktail lounge called Happy Accidents. I thought that, I guess obviously an ode to Bob Ross. But this is the former site of Jones Motor Company. At one time it was Kelly's Brew Pub, and it closed a few years ago. Then some other restaurant opened it up, and then as of last year, 2020, it closed again. But by the end of the year by the end of this year in 2021, a local Italian chain is going to take over the spot. At least that's what the news tells me. As a matter of fact, like in that book 100 Things to Do and See on Route 66 Before You Die, yeah, Kelly's Brew Pub was one of the places, and I was actually looking forward to eating here tonight, but then as I was doing research, I was like, oh wait, it closed. That was again 5 years ago. But here is one of those Hampton Hotels Save a Landmark ones. Jones Motor Company opened on November 18th, 1939 as a Ford dealership and Texaco gas station. It is now the home of Kelly's Restaurant Brew Pub. And then of course you got the Hampton Hotel Save a Landmark. But even though it is outdated, now I have seen photos of all these like patio tables, and then of course they let those gas pumps out while it was open. But sadly, yeah, I will not be able to experience it. And like I said, there are many notable retro and antique signs on this, but here's one of the notable ones: the motel, the highway house, where sleep is our business, and a color TV. Nice. Provided by RCA. So yeah, it looks to be in operation. I mean, there are people here, so And now here's another Route 66 attraction you may recognize. If you are a fan of the TV show Breaking Bad, then yes. Now there are no picnic tables here, as you can see, and of course there are bars on these windows, so I was not able to order up there. So it's basically car hop service only. Still, it's cool to say that I've been here now. And look at that doggy wagon. So, I know there really wasn't much to this video, as you may think, but Albuquerque is definitely one of the biggest cities here on Route 66, and it is indeed the largest city in the state of New Mexico. But obviously this was too big to pass up when it comes to showing off some of these places. So there's, of course, room for an episode on that. All right, I am Jason in Albuquerque, New Mexico, signing off.